it's Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. So I'm in Plymouth here the other day. I'm walking down the street and I meet a friend and we start talking about interest rates. And I said, everything's a matter of perspective. When I was a kid, because I'm in my mid-50s now, when I was a kid, my parents struggled with like real big-time inflation. Back in 1980 or whatever, the inflation was 15, 16, 17. It was horrific back in the day, right? And I remember my parents struggling with that. So when you look at a 50-year chart, in fact, let's go take a look at the 50-year chart. This chart goes back to 1971. When you look at the 50-year chart, which is approximately 50 years, when you look at 50 years, wow, 7% interest rates, which is what we are now for the 30-year fixed, is kind of, even if you want to say, kind of like on the slightly lower side, at least somewhere back to normal. I understand the recent spike that we have had since January of 2021, complete coincidence, I'm sure, to any political event, that is disturbing for sure. I mean, that's like straight up, almost straight up, as you can see on the chart. But, you know, big picture, 7%, I hate to say it this way, isn't that bad. Oh God, I can't believe I'm going to say this. It is what it is. God, I hate that phrase. But it reminds me of this meeting I had in 1991. I went to go see Mr. Wetzel in downtown Boston on Broad Street, and I was a young whippersnapper, fresh out of college, time to get a job. And Mr. Wetzel, who's the father of a childhood friend of mine, we went to his office, and he said, you know, I said, well, the economy is so bad, it's hard to get a job, Mr. Wetzel. What do I do? And Mr. Wetzel said, just like in The Godfather, stand up and be a man. But he didn't actually stand up and say that. But he's like, hey, but this is your time. This is your time. This is what it is. Deal with it. And in a way, you got to start to ask yourself, where is the risk? The risk is to the upside. If you don't buy now, then what happens if, and this is a huge if in 6, 9, 12 months from now, rates are 8.5%, then you'd be like, oh, look, can we go back to 7? 7 was nice. Can we go back that way? Right? That's the risk. Whereas if you buy now at 7 and interest rates go back down to, let's just say, 5, well, problem solved. You can refinance. Back to the chart. Everyone's looking at this chart and saying, wow, is this recent hike that we've had, is this a breakout to the high side? Are we looking at 8.5%, maybe even 10% interest in the future? Nobody knows. Or will it come back to reality where it belongs, where we have a God-given right to 4% interest? No one knows. If you're in that 25 to 35 year age bracket, you've gotten very used to 4% interest or 3% interest or whatever that is. 62%, according to Redfin, of mortgage holders in the United States have a mortgage rate under 4%. And the whole country has gotten used to it. Is it fair that now that you're trying to buy, that rates are now 7? No, it's not fair. But it is what it is. I guess I got it twice now in the same video. I've said the same thing. It is what it is. Oh, 3 times. Yeah, because that's true. It just, you just got to deal with it. Does that mean that you might want to get in to the housing market? Maybe you buy something a little bit more modest, or maybe you think about doing a 2-family where you can collect the rent and the rent can help you pay your mortgage. And then when the dust settles, which they hopefully will, you can actually go to that more like dream home of yours. There are many different options to take here. The bottom line is, because the federal government, the Fed, kept interest rates at very low levels for a decade plus, a lot of people are paying for that. A lot of other people are benefiting from that. And basically the Fed, through their policy, has created winners and losers, something the government should never do, but that's their gig, I guess. Me personally, I would rather that the overnight lending rate, which is what the Fed tweaks when they change interest rates, the overnight lending rate, why have the government set that? I would much rather have the market set that But of course, I don't get to decide. And if you're buying or selling, you're in the market you're in, you've got to find a way to make it work for you. Remember, on that chart, the risk is to the upside. I'm Jack from Jack Gately Real Estate and the Online Real Estate Academy. Have a great day.